Hi everyone, welcome back to the 3-day Stepping into Your Authentic Wellbeing Challenge. We kicked off yesterday with day 1, and this challenge is all about finding your wellness. So the wellness that works for you. I'm all about finding what works for you because not everything works for everyone. So that's what this whole challenge is about. Yesterday, we'll do a little recap. We talked about myths about self-care. Obviously, self-care is a huge part of wellness, but there's also a lot of myths surrounding self-care. So, we talked about how self-care is not always massages and pedicures, the myth that self-care takes a lot of time, or self-care costs money. We talked about self-care does not mean neglecting others, and the myth that you don't know how to take care of yourself. So remember, you do know how to take care of yourself. We just have to learn how to put it into practice and exactly what to put into practice. So if you missed that video yesterday, go check it out. It's pinned on my page, so you can find it there. Definitely a good one to start out your wellness journey. Self-care is a great place to start. So, if you're struggling with anything we talked about yesterday, reach out, let me know. I'd love to chat about what your struggles are and how I can help you get to where you want to be. Which is one of the things that I do in my coaching program, is just helping people get to where they want to go. And I love that I can do that with women. So today is all about fueling your fire. So what does that mean? Nutrition is key to feeling good in our bodies. So that is what we're going to talk about today. Remember that this is not about punishment. I'm not talking about losing weight. I'm not talking about punishing your body. I'm talking about loving your body, actually. So if you are here because you're trying to lose weight or something like that, honestly, you're in the wrong place. However, I feel like I could still help you learn to love your body instead of focusing on the weight. So everyone is welcome here. I'm just saying that I'm not trying to help you lose weight. So, again, this is not about punishing your body. Just like a car needs gas, humans need food. Without it, obviously, we can't survive. So these tips are to use nutrition to their max to fuel your body, give you energy and life. A little disclaimer, I'm not a nutritionist and I'm not a dietitian. I'm sharing what has worked for me and what I've studied in relation to mental health. If you missed yesterday, I am a mental health therapist and a mental wellness coach. So I've studied a lot of how nutrition impacts mental health, and so we'll talk a little bit about that today. So I'm going to share with you 5 key aspects in nutrition that have made the biggest difference in my wellness journey, and that I think can make a big difference in yours too. So, first of all, more plants. By plants, I mean fruits, vegetables, whole grains, seeds, nuts, anything that grows from the ground. And plant diversity is huge in living a long and healthy life. You might be thinking, but I don't like vegetables. I get it. I was there. The only vegetable I used to eat was green beans. Seriously. I would only eat green beans. I wouldn't eat anything else. Maybe some broccoli every once in a while. But, however, I learned that I just didn't like how they were prepared. I don't like raw vegetables. I don't like plain vegetables. I like my vegetables cooked well and seasoned. So, don't eat foods that you hate or you won't be consistent with it, but don't rule out foods until you try them different ways. Try cooking them, try seasoning them, try eating them raw, try dipping them in something, or mixing them in with other foods. There's a lot of ways that we can get in vegetables and kind of trick our brains into liking them. The more you eat them, the more you'll like them. I definitely feel my best when I eat fruits and vegetables versus pizza and ice cream. So I always make sure I have a plant, at least one plant at every meal. And usually I have a couple servings at every meal. So the point is to focus on the feeling. Focus on that. What you want your food to make you feel like. This isn't about looking a certain way. It's about feeling good in our skin. And plants can do that for us. Something that cannot do that for us is sugar. And I know this is kind of a controversial topic, but we're going to dive into it. I'm going to share some facts with you. So on average, a person consumes 130 pounds of sugar a year. 130 pounds. That's like a human body, compared to 20 pounds in 1820. So over the past 200 years, the average consumption of sugar has grown by over 100 pounds. Yeah, that's a lot. So to kind of break it down and put it into perspective, adults are recommended 10 teaspoons per day, but consume about, on average, 22 teaspoons per day. So we're eating more than double the recommended amount. The thing with sugar is that it uses the body's vitamins and minerals, which obviously we need. So that can leave you feeling fatigued. It can make you irritable. It can cause acne. It can cause joint pain. It can cause sleeping problems. It can cause digestive issues and brain fog and so much more. So this is not about if you'll gain weight or not gain weight. This is about keeping your body healthy and feeling good in your body. I know a lot of diet culture, anti-diet culture, people claim that sugar isn't bad for you. And I understand where they're coming from, where they want people to accept food, and sugar is food. But it does these things to our body and has these side effects, and I don't want these symptoms, and I'm assuming you don't either. So I'm not pro-diet, but we need to take a step back and look at what sugar is doing to our body. There's nothing wrong with reducing your sugar for the purpose of feeling good in your body. So, if you are wanting to kind of dive more into this, I recommend that you start looking at the sugar on labels. So normally I don't recommend looking at labels. Calories honestly don't matter. It matters that you're putting whole foods in your body. However, when you buy packaged foods, I always look at the added sugar on it, because a lot of times companies will sneak a lot of extra sugar into the product. So it's not the sugar. Under the sugar, it'll say added sugar. And that's what you want to keep an eye out for, because they'll pour a whole bunch of sugar in there and add it into all kinds of products. You'd be surprised. So next time you're grocery shopping, take a look at labels, the added sugar on labels, and I think you'll be surprised at what you find. Another thing that's important to remember is the gut-brain connection. So I'm not going to say a whole lot about this, other than 70% of the immune system lives in the gut. So that means that our food affects our health, our brain, our well-being, which is what we're talking about right now. So this might be the most important part of this. You guys, what you put in your body affects your brain. Obviously, our brain controls basically everything. So ultimately, you choose how your brain works. Are you going to fuel it, or are you going to tear it down? Food is vital to living our best lives. This is science, and this is how you find happiness and health, by healing your gut and fueling your gut. Okay, so number 4 that has a big impact on nutrition is mental health. So I'm going to throw a few facts at you guys. A lot of you probably know that depression affects 1 in 10 Americans, and that number is increasing by 20% every single year. So foods like fried food, beverages like pop, soda, and processed foods are actually shown to increase depression. So a person eating a Western diet, which consists of mostly the foods that I just mentioned, processed foods, fried foods, a person who eats a diet like that is 50% more likely to have depression. 50%. So, as these foods, like processed foods, have become more and more common and more available, depression increases with that. It's not a coincidence that depression has increased as processed foods has increased. They go hand in hand. So the more you eat these processed foods, the more depression will increase. And something else really interesting is that vitamin B, so that's found in foods like bananas, avocados, fish, and several other foods. A deficiency of vitamin B can actually look like symptoms of depression. So you will see a lot of the symptoms that I mentioned, like fatigue, brain fog, a lot of different symptoms in this deficiency, which can be changed, obviously, if you add more vitamin B in. So it's important to rule out nutritional deficiencies when looking at things like mental health. I mentioned that I'm a mental health therapist, so I'm obviously all for getting help with mental health. It's so important. But we also need to look at the nutritional aspects and look at nutritional deficiencies before we start the path of mental health. Number 5 is probably the biggest lesson, biggest thing I've learned on my wellness journey. And that's that it's all about balance. It's not that I can never have ice cream. It's that I just shouldn't have it every night. I need balance. Again, this is not about gaining weight. But because I want to feel good in my body, and I won't feel good if I'm eating tons of ice cream and my body's inflamed. I find balance in my nutrition. It's been a journey of finding this balance, but once you find it, it feels really good. I love the foods I eat, and I don't deprive myself. I enjoy a couple pieces of dark chocolate every day, but I also eat several servings of vegetables every day. I enjoy pizza like once a week, and I don't restrict my food around things like pizza or if I have ice cream. It's not a treat, it's food. It is food, no matter what you're eating. You can enjoy food and fuel your body. It is possible. You just have to find the balance. Okay, so I'm going to give you some tips as you start your journey, your wellness journey, these can be really helpful in adding in some of these nutritional aspects. Number one, start small. Add one food at a time, one thing at a time. Whether it's water or veggies or whatever it may be, start with one thing. My recommendation is by adding, drinking 1 glass of water in the morning. It's as simple as that. And after a couple weeks, maybe add a vegetable to each meal, however you like it, cooked or not cooked. The thing is, adding is easier than taking out. So start by adding the good stuff. Water, vegetables, fruit, whole grains. Start by adding that stuff rather than taking out the processed food or whatever it may be. A few things to avoid to make this journey easier. Avoid counting or restricting calories. Like I said, calories don't matter. It is the food that you're eating that matters. So, avoid counting or focusing on calories. Avoid skipping meals. That is just going to mess your body up and not help this process at all. It's about being consistent and fueling your body. And then don't eliminate food groups. That is really harmful to your body. I know a lot of people have been told that carbs are bad. Carbs are not the enemy. There are certain carbs that are less nutritious than others. That's why I say start by adding whole grains, rice, oatmeal, things like that. But remember, food is good. No food is bad. Just start adding some of the foods that have more nutritional value in them. And remember, balance is key. So, I always like to give homework at the end of my lives or trainings. So the thing I want you to do is to decide one thing that you want to add. So whether it's water, maybe a vegetable or fruit or whatever it may be that you think would make you feel good. It's not about eating something to lose weight. It's about eating to fuel your body and feel good in your body. So, I know I just threw a ton of information at you guys. So please let me know if you have any questions or are confused about anything or just need to talk something out. Let me know. This was day 2 of the 3-day challenge, so I will be back tomorrow to talk more about how you can create your own wellness. So I will see you guys then.